Oh, camera's a little. Let's see. There we go. Hello. So, Hatha Yoga, one of the most popular forms of yoga taught in the West, and it's all about this balance between the sun and the moon, Ha and Tha, balance between the body, the movements, and the breath. So it's a little bit slowed down. It's not as fast as a power yoga class. And so it allows you to kind of, I like to say, settle into the pose for a moment and kind of catch your breath, deepening the breath, making adjustments to the movements, and then exhaling, and then continuing on with flow. And then even the balance is between more of the energetics, the divine, the masculine. You have both. Typically, left side is related to the feminine side, right side related to the masculine side. So that plays in with the Hatha practice also. And so I taught a Hatha yoga class yesterday at the library, and it was a mix of a chair and a standing class. And so we worked on that. We worked on not just going through the movements and stretches, but incorporating this time to try them out, really settle into them, and connect with that breath that inhales, kind of building up the body, filling it up, and the exhales, softening, allowing the muscles to allow themselves to open. And so that's how people gain flexibility through yoga is, they get to really connect with their body and move through the motion of the arm extensions and the leg and the hip openings, and exhaling takes you out of this tense place and allows you to really connect with yourself and open up to the world around you and allow anything that's stuck or stagnant in the body to flow. And by that I mean, like if you're feeling tense, inhaling, exhaling into the movements, it's going to calm down that intensity. You're going to be able to get the body moving energetically. So if you're working on lower body, then you're working in those root chakra. And so then you're allowing anything that's stuck, any emotions or whatnot, to freely flow, which is something that we see a lot in restorative yoga, where we work a lot with the lower body in restorative yoga. You're really allowing the breath and body to open, to connect to your that kind of those tensions that are there, and just let the body soften so that your muscles soften, you open, you gain flexibility once again, but then you also release anything that's stuck, especially something that might be stuck in your fascia, stuck in your tendons, your muscles, to then be let go. And people tell me they have this, and I've seen it in myself, where you can let go through various ways. You can let go through tears. I see people, letting go crying in a yoga class. You can let go through release through other ways, through the body, through going to the bathroom. Some people, it's just getting gases out, sometimes uncontrollably in a class. And that's all just things expressing, leaving themselves from the body, physically getting rid of toxins, energetically letting things go, especially when it comes to those who feel a sudden burst of tears, or maybe the opposite. Maybe they feel sudden bursts of smiles and energy and happiness flowing through. It's like rushing and releasing from the body. So those both sides are extreme. The tears, the sadness can be extreme, and then the happiness, excitement can be extreme. So we're going to take just a few things that I did in class yesterday. We're going to be standing. Once again, you don't need a mat. Just be in your body, practice where you are, and meet yourself where you are. So you'll look different possibly than from what I'm doing. I look different from you or whoever. If you choose to do this later with some support, maybe there's a tree nearby. Just be careful of the roots that can support you for these standing poses. You could have a sturdy piece of furniture, like something that's not gonna wiggle or wobble or flip. So like a very heavy piece of furniture or solid, chair or table, and or the wall is always a wonderful, wonderful prop to use. Otherwise, if you don't have any of that near you, like if you're outside like I am right now, but you also maybe don't have any trees nearby, just kind of feel into it. You don't have to do the whole movement, and I'm gonna show you that as we go through, where you don't have to have like everything exact. Sometimes I don't, and I am like a little sore from yesterday and from class, and so because we did quite a bit with the balances and the movements there, and so just kind of work with where you're at, the same that I'll do for myself. So we're gonna go and jump right into some warriors, but you're gonna kind of ease into it. So I'm gonna put my left foot first this time, but you can have your right side first if you choose. In most classes I've seen, the teachers have the right side first, but there are some where I see they have the left side first, especially if they're incorporating some moon salutations. So you're just going to open up to your warrior two. And with that, you'll have that bend in the front knee. You're going to have those toes pointing front. Think about your drishti, your focus. You're not only welcoming balance, but you're welcoming focus into this practice. So you have your knee bent, your toes are facing forward in the front. You want to open up through, that's already going to open up through your hips, your lower body. You're grounding into the earth, moving into this new season of when I post this. All these grounding poses really come into mind. Back foot's about 45 degrees or so. If that is not working for you in the back, just transfer over to a high lunge. So just lift the heel, the back toes would also be pointing forward, and then you still have that bent knee. So when we say that, those differences, your back foot, for the warrior, it's going to be out. If that's not working for you, you can pivot and do high lunge instead. And you're just going to have the back foot also facing forward, lift the heel. And then we're just going to we're going to flow just kind of through all the warriors just so you can have an idea of what they are. Virabhadrasana, 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. I've heard them various callings and names. So just working with yourself, and you can go in and look up those other terms of what you can call your warriors online. So, and even things like humble warrior or reverse warrior can be different. So bear with me with that. Check your knee. You want that straight in line. You have your warrior two. So it tends to have your drishti. So you're going to allow your vision to follow down that middle finger. Have that warrior two there. You're opening up the whole body here, your heart, everything in. Feel press into the earth with those feet to keep you grounded and steady. And then typically, like in my class yesterday, we transferred into a reverse warrior. So that front arm goes up and overhead. The back arm, I tend to bind it, take it around the lower back. You're going to start to feel that stretch down your side body. And you could lift the heart. And then maybe you return back to your warrior two. One, to really start getting into your balance, is you could switch to a warrior one. So warrior one, you're going to feel this twist as the body and chest twist towards the front. The arms then go up towards the sky. Once again, this is one where I see people like to pivot that back foot into high lunge. Feels a little bit less intensity. You can still check in with that knee, because sometimes in warrior one that can start to go out or in. Just bring it back. You could have your cactus arms, bring them down low, bend the elbows. You could take the arms down, clasp the hands behind the tail, drop the hands, lift the heart. That would be in your high lunge. You could also do that in your warrior one, though. It might look a little bit different. And then you could take a bow or humble warrior and come forward, the arms up towards the earth and the sky above. And then you would just come back, and you could open up back to our warrior two. So pivot your back foot if that turned to high lunge. And then from there, we're going to kind of move through that same rhythm, but this time we're going to move into that warrior one. We're going to pivot into high lunge, and then we're going to go for a warrior three. I've heard different people have different opinions on placing that weight in the front, but there is a way to keep this lightness as you shift and lift with it. So your arms can stay high, or if you prefer to bring them down to hips, a little more grounding, go ahead. You're going to shift that weight towards the front and then find that lightness. You're going to lift up that back leg. So for your warrior three, I did this in the other flow the other day. You could airplane your arms out, or you could take them front and forward. And then, of course, when you're ready, lightness, bring it back down, open to your warrior two. And then we're just going to kind of allow yourself to play forward and just come out of that and adjust as you need. So with the Hatha, so that balance of both sides. So I had the left leg primarily in front, but the back leg did a lot of work doing a lot on the right side. So I want to balance that out, right? And the fun part is remembering what you did on the opposite side. And if you forget, if you're going through your stretches or you're going through your asanas and you don't remember it all, that's fine. So now you're going to reverse. So I had my left leg in front to start, which depending on how you're watching this video could have looked like the right, but now I'm going to have my right leg in front. Going to have that warrior two, have that leg bent once again, check in with that footing, and then just opening up now, opening up on the other side, opening up through the chest, the arms, checking in with that knee, finding that grounding, and then finding that reverse warrior. I automatically always want to kind of bend that back arm, take it around. You could also allow it to float down the back leg. Just be mindful that you're not putting a lot of pressure there. Lift the heart. And then coming back to that warrior two, check in with that back arm. If it's leaning, we'll lift it up. And then going ahead and switching over to for that warrior one. So you're going to take that back arm. Now you feel that side stretch there. You can hold into that warrior one or pivot for the high lunge if that works for you. It's up to you. Today my body really wants to stay in warrior one. You have the cactus arms. We're going to do things a little bit out of different movements. We're going to take the hands clasped behind the tail. Could take it up first, and then could find that humble warrior. So then you take it down and over and high. And then just lifting it up. I'm going to go back to that warrior two, just to open up. And then I'm going to dabble again through that warrior three. So that back arm's going to come to front. Arms are going to lift. If I feel better about bringing them down to hips, I can do that. I'm going to pivot my foot for high lunge here, because for me on that side, that feels better. Shift the weight to the front, and then just allow yourself to take that leg up. I have an acorn underneath my right foot. You could go into what would be like support for a standing half split. So you could take the fingertips down towards the mat. You would allow your head to pivot, and then that back leg would just continue to lift. So just depending on where you are, or you could work with your balance and just bring yourself into that warrior three or the airplane arms once again. And then, of course, lightly bringing that back, opening up. And then even getting into like some side angle here. So this side for me is still feeling a little bit out of balance. So I'm going to bring myself to a side angle. So for your supported side angle, just bending that front elbow, bringing it down to thigh, and that back arm reaches up above. Once again, you could bind with the upper arm. You could bind with both arms. So if you really want, and then lift up. There's so many beautiful variations you can take your practice to. Even in class, the teachers would guide. But your body might be feeling something else that it wants at that time. So you can always do that. So right and left side, opening up, grounding to the earth, feeling the feet really find themselves into the mat, and as you open. So we'll bring all of that together. So take a moment, find your breath, find your grounding. And then we're going to start with left side again, just kind of flow through it. So you have your two, your Rabindrasana two, your warrior two, and then that reverse. And we're going to add in that supported side angle. And then you can have that bind if you so choose. You could bring it back up to warrior two. Find your warrior one or your high lunge. Cactus the arms. Then clasp the arms below. Lift the heart. Humble, floating forward. Lifting and rising. All right, I want to make sure I didn't turn it off on humble. Back to that warrior two. Now I'm going to pivot to that high lunge. And even me, I noticed I unbent my knee a bit. That's all right. Just make adjustments as you go. And then lift off for that warrior three. And then bring it back to standing. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Opposite side, warrior two. And then your reverse. And right into your supported side angle. It's kind of like this nice stance flow. You could find that bind if you so choose. Bring it back. Find your warrior one or your high lunge. Your cactus arms. Clasp below. Lift the heart. Humble. Nice bow here. Bring it up. Find my acorn under the foot. And take myself to that high lunge. Open up. Arms in line with ears. Humaning. So tend to just want to flow there and just kind of find it. Take a moment. And then find that lift for the warrior three. And then bring it back. So even with that, moving through, there's moments my mind catches where I'm like, oh, gotta remember to breathe. Oh, gotta remember to correct, to adjust the knee. And these corrections aren't there to point someone out in class, but the corrections are, there so that we protect our joints and our bones, our muscles and things, but especially our joints. So we want to help ourselves, not hinder. So if that seemed a little fast, you can always slow it down where you really feel open. So open up to warrior two, slow it down like we would in that Hatha class. Opening up, because you're still going to get a little sweat, a little heat possibly. Check in with the knee. It's okay to move your head before you find and focus on that drishti. And then this time I'm going to go ahead into that warrior one. Dig a little deeper. And then pivot that back foot to high lunge. Find that lift. Taking the time to really move. You're working your core, finding balance. Bring hands to hips. And then bring it back. Arms go up. Let's bring the arms all the way through sides. Clasp the hands behind the back. Drop the hands, lift the heart. And then humble once again. Bring it back. Arms lift. Warrior one arms. Pivot back to that high lunge. And then bring it all back to center. We'll do one more time on opposite side. Really give some time to feel yourself in the moves. Warrior two. Awesome. Open up, adjust, check in with that arm. Go ahead and transfer to that warrior one. And cactus the arms. Take them down. Feel that connection. Lift the heart. Don't forget to breathe. Take your humble warrior once again. Check in with that knee. Lift up. Pivoting to that high lunge. Make any adjustments. So many fall acorns. And then go ahead and after you find those adjustments, find that strength. Keep that knee forward. Working your quads. And then find that lift. Maybe the hands come to hips or floor. I've really been working on strengthening this right side, my masculine side. Bring in a little more balance. Bring it all in. open up to 2, bring it to top of mat. So you're kind of working through the movements, the motions, going through it first, discussing, and then flowing, and then softening into it and taking time. So that third round is really what you might see more in that Hatha class. Just not so much power, not so much move, 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 like in that second one that I did. But the third one really stopping to breathe. So just opening up. And of course, if you're opening up, then you might feel a little bit too open. You might feel a little bit like, because in softening, there's that vulnerability side when we're opening up our main organs to everything around us also. That can be a bit of vulnerability. So to bring it back, maybe you'd like to have a little closure. So if you're looking to balance that out and close out your practice, then you could bring the legs together or hip width apart, raise the arms towards the sky and the sun. Exhale, find your forward fold. Find your ragdoll. That's a nice grounding pose. It brings that third eye down to the earth. Also helps to bring protection into those organs. And you could always then bring the hands down to the mat. Take the feet back. Find a downward dog for a little stretch there. Come on down to all fours. Take the feet out. Legs extend out in front of you. Stretch or kick those out. And then you can go ahead and go onto the back, bring the knees in. Another little grounding, protective pose. Take what you need here. Yeah, and then maybe that feels good for you, and you just come up to a seated position and pose for a little moment of peace, meditation, be with yourself, be with the energies around you, feel the body. Or maybe you choose to open up, be in a place of peace and corpse pose for some time. So it's up to you where you take your practice each and every time you step on the mat, whether it's a guided practice or you choose to move the body and flow through asanas that your body is calling for that day. And you could do them like we did today, just repeating 1, 2, 3, 4, so many times. We could do the same with going through sun salutations or moon salutations. So thanks for hanging out. This one I know is a little bit more exploratory. That's the word I'm looking for. Exploratory, and kind of going through and explaining things. But let me know, what you feel, how your body chooses to flow through those movements. Warriors at the same time that are helping and benefiting your body and mind and spirit can also be fun. It can be fun to play with it, not take the practice too seriously, because every day it can show up different and feel different. And so it's just nice then, and you should be proud for yourself that you took that time to step on the mat and make space for yourself that day on the mat to practice and see how your body's feeling. All right, I will talk to you all later. Let me know how that goes for you or any of the other flows. I have received some feedback, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad to hear that, if this connects with you, if this vibes with you, take it, make it your own. And yeah, that's the point of this. Just come on, have some movement, have some breath work, and just be here for one another, building community through these posts, and finding some benefit to these practice. And it doesn't have to be super long. It can just be a few minutes a day. So yeah, so there we go. All right, we'll talk soon. So much humaning today. I love it. Oh man.